first of all, about yourself, you know, how did you come around to this idea? You know, what brought you about to this? You know, who are you as well? And, you know, that kind of stuff.
Of course. So I would just talk about our very short history in 3 sentences. So actually,
Hmm.
we are working with our co-founder and with our team 8 years in advertising. And in the last three years, we had a pretty amazing advertising agency, and we won several awards, including 2 Etheal awards, which is the Oscar of advertising effectiveness, and the Deloitte Technology Fast 50, which is awarded to the highest growth companies. And and we were pretty good with this. So we had some very good clients with extraordinary vision, but also we had some clients with mediocre vision, some not that good vision, and we were thinking about that. The impact of advertising campaigns at a little bit capped, so a little bit limited, and we want to have a global impact, a positive global impact on humanity. And that's why we think about which is a big problem, and we found something. And now our purpose is to improve the lives of 1 billion people by making healthcare more transparent. And
Hmm.
this is what we are fighting every day. So the thing is that we found out that healthcare has several problems, not just in the developing countries, but also in the richest countries in the world. I just want to tell you 2 examples. So I guess everybody knows that price is increasing rapidly, both in Western Europe, both in the US and other parts of the world. This is one problem. But the other problem is there are extremely low waiting times. So for example, there is 3 months long waiting time for a hip replacement in Ireland, Spain, and in the US. And there is even worse places in this case, because there is 6 months waiting time in Canada for a hip replacement. And we think this is crazy. That's a lot of suffering for people. And we think there is a way to do it better, and this is the way to make healthcare more transparent. So this is our purpose, without jumping our exact solution.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself, because you have the doctor
Yes.
title, right? Are you an actual doctor with a PhD, and is it doctor in the medical realm or somewhere else? Tell us a little bit just about yourself.
Okay, so Etheal was founded by Victor, who is my co-founder, and me. Just short things about Victor. So Victor is a software engineer, and he led a full code refactorization of one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the Central and Eastern European region. It's called Salash.hu, which
Mhm.
has $56 million worth of services every year. And also Victor developed our smart contract, and our smart contract was audited by one of the most known auditor in the crypto world. They called Blockchain Labs New Zealand, and they didn't find any critical issue. So Victor is the technical co-founder, and I'm responsible for operations and communication. So, actually, I was graduated as a veterinarian, and
Okay.
and during vet school, I was thinking about that. A vet can heal only one animal at a time, one dog, one cat, and I was thinking about how can a vet have a bigger impact. And I started to focus on research, because if you do relevant research, you can have impact of millions of animals, of millions of people. And
Hmm.
during my research studies, I found out that I really like the objectiveness and the repeatability and the scientific approach. And I even started the PhD in veterinary medicine. I'm still in my PhD studies, and
Hmm.
and after that we met with Victor and founded our agency. And in our digital agency, we started to approach everything scientifically. So this is the approach we are trying to use in this field as well.
Hmm.
And
Sure. That so let's move on to, I think that covers the purpose and sort of where you're coming from, which is an interesting angle, insofar that you're covering the health arena, you're covering the tech, and you're coming to it with the purpose, and with a big aim as well, which is quite noble and audacious and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Just remind me, how do you pronounce the name of the company again?
We call it Etheal.
Etheal. Okay.
Yeah.
Etheal. So Etheal, tell us who will benefit from Etheal. Who are the kind of types of customers, your target audience? Yeah.
Okay, so currently there are several doctor listing sites on the world. There are some in the UK as well, some in the other parts, some really big ones. And we see a big flow with this website, because if you have a problem, you don't want to find a doctor, but you want a specialist for your exact problem. Let's imagine, for example, if you or your partner is endangered pregnant with twins, you don't just want any kind of gynecologist, but you want a gynecologist who is the best in endangered pregnancies with twins. So you have to be very specific. And we listed 88,000 medical treatments on our website, while our competitors listed only a few hundred maximum. And actually, this was a huge technical challenge, because there are no big e-commerce companies in the healthcare globally. So there are no so-called XML feeds that you can easily list these services. So we had to use natural language processing and several technical stuff, but we listed 88,000. And currently our site is working in Hungary and Brazil, and we serve 2.5 million visits per year, because we solve a real user problem, that if you are typing in the Google that you want a specialist in some kind, our site will pop up.
So you're saying that, like, for people looking for specific treatments, health treatments, will be using your service to find specialists that can deal with those specific, very specific health treatments.
Yes, and actually, yeah. So we are focusing one part of healthcare, which is medical tourism, and medical tourism increased tenfold in the last 10 years, and it will increase tenfold again. It will reach $500 billion by the year 2025. And there is an interesting things going on. So the transportation costs are decreasing, and it's easier to go to other countries to get a special treatment. People think about that there is the west to east way that people go, so they want affordable healthcare. But no, there is another kind of healthcare that a lot of people from undeveloped countries go to developed ones to get special treatments, to get healed at all. And I was talking, and I was talking to a plastic surgeon from Canada a week ago, and he said he will not support us at all. He hates medical tourism. And I asked him, what is the problem? What do you think? And he said that a lot of people from Canada and US goes to Mexico to get cheap treatment, and they get low quality care, they get mistreatment, and then go back to North America and demand the doctors to heal them, to fix it. And he said, no way, I will support this. And I said, oh, but this is the problem that we would like to solve, because we want to have patients to find not just affordable care, but high quality care, because I'm sure there are doctors in Mexico as well who makes very high quality care. So this is what we are trying to have.
Yeah, and I've personally been quite fascinated with this whole area of health tourism so far, that I'm actually originally from Bosnia. So, when you were in Slovenia, you were not far away from where I'm originally from. And then, so, in Bosnia, I get a tooth filling or something like that. It costs like a tenth of what it would cost in UK, and the quality of work is absolutely perfect. I remember to a point where the dentist repaired one of my teeth, and I went back there 2 years later, and he said, and I said, I'd like you to put another filling here. And he goes, which one? And he couldn't even recognize that it was a filled tooth. It was that well kind of done. So I can see that use case, and it typically, like, different countries have different expertise in different areas of health, right? So in, like, London, there is
I will share
a hospital.
example, if you don't mind. So, for example, a lot of
Mhm.
people from the
Yeah.
Persian Gulf goes to South Korea to get transplantation surgeries. A lot of people from Cyprus go to Israel. People from Canada goes to Costa Rica to medical screenings only. And also a lot of people from UK comes to Budapest and also Bosnia and Bulgaria to dental care.
Hmm. So, okay, so that moves us onto systems, really. Just tell us, in terms of people, just tell us a little bit more about your team. You know, who constitutes your team? How big is the team? You know, what are the sort of the roles?
Okay, currently we have 8 full-time employees and remote workers, and they are quietly spread out in Europe. So, and these people are in 6 countries in the EU, in Romania, Slovakia, in the UK, Ireland, and Hungary as well. And they have experiences from companies like Google and Bank of America. On our advisory board, we have a pretty extensive advisory board. There are blockchain entrepreneurs, because doing a company on blockchain is still a huge challenge, as I would say. So,
Hmm.
entrepreneurs on our advisory. And also we have a Harvard Medical School alumnus professor, Dr. Tibor Barta, who helped us in
Hmm.
several things. Also, we have a previous executive of a fund management. So it's because it's cryptocurrency, so there are finance-related issues as well. And
Yeah.
recently, Vitya Adlichka joined our advisory board. Vitya Adlichka is the founder and president of Liberland, which is a micronation,
Mm.
and they are fighting to be a cryptocurrency only country, and we really appreciate their approach.
So tell me a little bit, like, how did that come about? How did you get connected with him, and why did he join? Really, kind of like, what's the synergy there?
Okay, so we have a deep conversation about decentralization, about where the world is heading, and where will this Bitcoin buzz and the cryptocurrency buzz will lead. And they have a pretty significant vision, to say the least, to make a very liberal and free country with cryptocurrency only. And we saw, and also it's very important that he's our community advisor, because he built a country which has currently 150,000 citizens or residents, or I'm not sure what's the perfect term from them. So it's pretty outstanding to build any kind of community and even a country in 2017 with that many people.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I think I'm a citizen of Liberland as well.
Awesome.
I signed up because I heard of that. So that would be a really interesting thing to see how that develops further. So let's talk a little bit about the system. You know, how will this system work? Like, walk us through a little bit of like an end-to-end user journey. Why is Etheal, as a blockchain business, how will this system work? Typically, I've done years of work in service design and user experience design, so we talk about this customer journey map, you know, like a story of a customer going through the process. How does it work? Just tell us, like, top level.
Okay, so there are 2 things. Why do we use blockchain? And I would show you our customer journey. Actually, our customer journey is pretty simple. You just type your treatment on Google. We don't want to change people's behavior with downloading applications or registering immediately, any kind of this. You just type your problem or anything in Google, and our site pops up. And you can find clinics, care providers, hospitals in other countries, for example. And you will find the most relevant one, and you just click, and you will get you can book an appointment, or you can get a quote on their prices or something. So it's the user can see just this price. So it's pretty easy. On the back end, there are some interesting things. So, for example, we have to monetize the market for sure, and we expect that in the beginning there will be very few clinics who will pay for the leads, and Oh, yeah.
He wants to join the interview as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So when the user clicks on the inquiry from a clinic, we will automatically show them three other one and ask her to get a quote from the other ones as well. And the other three is a paying clinic actually. So it's a parity efficient because we can have 80% of the revenue with only 3 or 4 paying clinics from a given country, from a given specializations. So this is the sales part and this is the user journey part. And two things why we would like to use the blockchain. The first one is that we think it's unfair that currently centralized companies delete all the doctor's reviews if the doctor stops paying the monthly fees. So for example, one of the biggest competitors of us is ZocDoc in the US, and it has a $300 monthly fee for every doctor. And think about the doctors work hard for 2 years to get best reviews, and 1 month he stops paying, gone. All their reviews gone. It's not fair. So we want to decentralize reviews. We don't want to own the reviews. We want to put it on blockchain. It's for everyone. We won't own it. And the second one is we would like to use micro incentivization. So micro incentivization is you will get some tokens after you write quality content, you write good reviews. And actually it's micro, so it's a tiny piece of tokens, a tiny piece of money or something like that, but it works really well. There is a blog platform called the steamy.com. It's very similar to medium.com, but there is a micro incentivization because people not just upvote, but upvote with their cryptocurrency. And this side from the top 20,000 from the 2,000 grow only in 6 months, and they have 80 million visits. So micro incentivization is a pretty huge thing.
And so the user will search for like a specialist. They'll find them. The system will recommend them similar ones to take a look at. There will be decentralized reviews and ratings that will just stay there no matter what. And then the user can go and get treated by that specialist, and then I suppose write a review and commit it into blockchain and so on. So are you then planning to also handle payments through this, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty important for us that we know our place. We are just a startup currently. We don't want to eat the world at all. So first, we don't want to make all the clinics to register. We just want to send them email and pay and charge for the leads in the beginning. In the long term, of course, we want to integrate their services more. So we are planning that people can pay with the tokens and pay with fiat money, so dollars, euros, or pounds as well.
Okay, and so moving innovation aspect. So we've covered purpose, people, systems. In terms of innovation, what would you say is the main innovative proposition here? What's the main unique selling point of this?
Okay, so I think our selling point is combining 3 things. So we didn't invent anything new. We just want to combine 3 things in a specific field. So first is listing 88,000 services. So we know, so it's a use case. So we properly fulfill the user needs. And the second one is using blockchain to decentralize reviews. And the third one is to use micro incentivization. And we think if we combine these 3 things well, it will be enough to be several times better than our competitors.
Okay, and so then moving on to the products, typically we would say that experience is the product because it combines all these kind of aspects of systems, people, the process, the innovative aspects. And so how do you then describe that experience of Etheal? What's that going to be like compared to sort of the current offerings that are doing perhaps like a similar thing but in an old school fashion, so to speak?
Okay, so first you can find more relevant doctors, you can find more relevant treatments, and we expect that you can find more well-written reviews on your specializations, on your doctors, on your clinics. So this is the user one. And some people ask us, okay, but everybody has to use cryptocurrencies, because it's pretty new thing that there are very few people who are using cryptocurrencies at all. And we think, no, we want to hide every complexity from the user and from the doctors. So we will integrate exchanges, and they can use fiat money to pay and to receive rewards. But the underlying thing of the whole, how to say, the whole Etheal is based on cryptocurrencies, based on so-called Etheal tokens.
Okay, that actually leads me perfectly into the next question, which is, what kind of tokens are Etheal tokens? Are they share tokens, utility, or what kind? And just talk a little bit about that, because I myself have spent about like 2 years reading about blockchain. I come from a computer science background, and you know, I've been in this kind of world of systems and IT for a long time, but I still quite struggle to fully understand everything. So more you can explain and demystify this, the better it is for everyone that will be listening to this.
Okay, just 2 sentences about the current state of the utility token and the security issue currently in the world. So if you tell people, if you if they buy tokens, they will get profit, they will have a voting right and things like this, then it's not a utility token, but it's a security. And securities are regulated very strictly, both in the US, Singapore, Western Europe, and other parts of the world. So if an ICO want to sell a security token, then it's pretty risky at the moment, because it's a little bit unregulated field, and we don't know what the future will be, what will SEC from the US say about this thing, what the EU will say. So making a security with ICO is a pretty risky business. And we don't want to do that. We designed our system that we have a full utility token. It means here tokens, sole purpose is to pay in the system. This is only for a payment in our system. So clinics can pay for the services. So for example, pay for the leads, or pay for feature spots, highlighting fees, and users get the reward in Etheal tokens. And also in the future, we want to have that users can buy services with Etheal tokens. So this is the purpose of the Etheal utility token. And actually,
okay,
people asking, okay, but why people buy it? And the thing is if we have 100 million Etheal tokens, nothing more. We won't ever mint more tokens. It's not possible, because it's controlled by the smart contract. And if we do our things well, so we can execute what we said in our white paper, then the demand will grow to these Etheal tokens, and more people want to use it for paying services, for getting rewards, and so on. So the demand will grow, and supply is the same, then the price will go up, as it happens in Bitcoin as well.
Mm-hmm. And so, how did you arrive at the price of like 100 million tokens with market cap of 300,000 ethers, approximately 130 million US dollars? How did you sort of calculate that through?
Okay, the thing that we counted the first, that our goal for, okay, now we have a pre-sale, and February we have a normal sale, and our goal with the normal sale is to raise $6 million. This is our soft cap. If we raise $6 million, then we are sure that we are at least 2 years money to run the company and develop everything. And this is the worst case scenario, that we need that much of money. And that counted how many tokens should we buy to our advisors, or give our advisors, give our team, and the rest of the pool we will sell on the pre-sale and on the normal sale. So that's how we calculated our exact token structure.
Okay, and so where will the value increase then come from? Is it from people simply participating in the system and effectively ordering more treatments basically through your platform, or where's the value increase coming from?
Yeah, so we're expecting that more and more clinics started to use our service, so they have to use somehow somehow our tokens, so it will be a higher demand, and also we're expecting that more and more people will write quality reviews. Do you hear me? Because it's a little bit
Yeah.
low now. Okay, so more and more people will use our system, and more clinics. So the demand will grow. The demand will be growing to our utility token, and as I said, our supply is fixed. So if the supply is fixed and demand is growing, more and more people want to hear token. The prices usually goes up.
So then tell me, for example, because the group that we're running is now coming up to 400 members, and many people are constantly asking me, and sort of in discussions asking, what's the kind of, what ICOs are you looking into, etc. So if you were to make a sort of micro pitch to those who are looking to, put a few grand into this ICO, what is the why would I basically put $5,000 into Etheal ICO?
Okay, so I would say generally that if somebody wants to invest in any kind of ICO, they have to do a very deep due diligence. They have to see what are the plans, are they realistic, what is the field that they are playing on, and what about the team and advisors, because there is one thing that you can change the team, everything else can be changed some way at all, but the team not. So, and actually I guess we are pretty strong in both fields. Because we are going to the healthcare market, which is a pretty huge industry, but we are focusing on a small part, which is also still pretty big with this $500 billion. The second one is team. We are our founders, so Victor and me are accomplished entrepreneurs. We made companies. We helped very big companies in the Central and Eastern European regions. Our advisors are senior people with 20, 30 year experiences in different fields, e-commerce, banking, blockchain, entrepreneurship. So they can help us to really execute the white paper. And if you have time to see our white paper, actually it's we put 3 months of work just to finalize the white paper from the initial idea, and there are every kind of possibilities about how will this review system work, what will happen if somebody try to manipulate their reviews or manipulate their competitors' reviews. And there are processes there is processes in Wikipedia, so we used a lot of things from the moderation of Wikipedia. We used the so-called believability score from Ray Dalio, which is a pretty interesting thing. So that's what I would say about us.
Okay. So, and then in terms of going to the last aspect, which is growth. So you spoke about the people looking for treatments, the end users, but then there is the medical providers. And how are you planning to get the medical providers to use your system and sort of participate in the whole journey, right?
Okay, so during the last 4 years, we started doclist.com, which is the core of Etheal, which is our working site now. We have a lot of failures along the road. And one of the biggest failures was that we wanted to charge the doctors directly, the physicians. And we found out that it's not a good way, because doctors are not, most of the doctors are not business people. They see that their calendar is full, they are making a good salary, and they are not interested in marketing. They don't want to handle the communication, the marketing. It's pain for them. They want to heal, they want to do their job. But in medical tourism, the big clinics are mostly not led by physicians. It's led by business people, or business people who are also doctors. And if we can bring them leads, they will, okay, we can pay this small amount because it's worth it. And we have three phases on our journey. First one is expansion. The first thing we would like to do is to expand to 5 to 30 countries. The second one is to monetize medical tourism, as I told you about. And the second one, and the third one is to being a platform, a full-fledged blockchain platform. It means that if we have even bigger user base, we want to allow third-party developers to create their own applications which is related to healthcare on Etheal.
Okay, and so is there something that lies beyond the short-term medical tourism market for you? What's kind of the longer-term strategy? Are you looking to bring in some other types of services in there, or expand out a little bit more? Or what is the thinking?
Definitely we have plans. We want to really focus on this medical tourism and execute it well. I will tell you two short examples. One of them is pharmaceutical communication research. I didn't know before, but every $1 spent on drug development, $19 spent on pharma communication research and marketing. So it's a pretty huge issue because, for example, Gedeon Richter, a global pharmaceutical company, approached us to conduct research in 6 countries in Europe about a new drug type. And it's about just the communication research. How should they sell it? What should they communicate? And it's pretty hard for for pharmaceutical companies to find one research company that can handle several countries or control several agencies, several research agencies in every country. So we want to solve it. If we have a global reach, we want to have an opt-in kind of research, so pharmaceutical companies can do focus groups, interviews, surveys, but it's still opt-in because we don't want to sell our user data. But if you opt in to fill a survey, you can also get rewards for it. So this is pharma communication, and also the non-profit line. Actually, because we have 2.5 million visits, we thought about that we want to give back to the charities and the non-profits to give them exposure. And currently there are 90 non-profit companies listed on DocList as well. And we individually talk with them separately and ask what are their goals. And they make them mobile-friendly, responsive website on doclist.com. And we want to go further, and we will develop in the very short future Monero mining integration. It means that you can mine.
Okay.
So you can mine Moneros on your computer. It's pretty hard to mine Bitcoins on your computer because there are very specific computers. But with your processor, your CPU, you can mine Moneros in a more so with a better return on investment. And we say that okay, we will integrate into DocList, and the user only have to do one thing, just to open a tab on their browser of a specific non-profit and start mining. So they have to click on, okay, I want to give 40% of my CPU capacity to this non-profit and start mining Monero for that non-profit. And every mined Monero or other cryptocurrency will go to that specific non-profit.
Interesting idea. And so, since we're on this last aspect of growth, tell me, perfect world scenario, 2018 is about to kick off. You're about to go into your ICO fully. What does perfect 2018 look like for you in terms of, people, systems, innovation, products, money, and growth? What are you looking to achieve in 2018 in this kind of core bullet points?
Okay, so we have a pretty unique reward in our token structure. It's called hodl reward. So we reward people who don't sell their tokens after we listed on exchanges, but hold their tokens for 3, 6, or 9 months. And we think we need at least 9 months or about 9 months to develop and bring something significant. The first thing, as I told you, is to develop to at least 5, but even to 30 countries in 1 or 2 years. So if you think about if we talk, so if you talk in 12 months, so if we talk in next September, I'm pretty hope that we are established in 5 or 10 countries at least, and we already migrated our core system to blockchain and decentralized reviews.
Yeah, and the platform is being built on Ethereum, Ethereum platform, or?
Yes, we are built on Ethereum. Actually, we evaluated other platforms like Neo as well, but currently Ethereum is the platform that has the most written things in English, and this is the platform that the most ICOs starts on. In the future, we are planning the possibility to have an own blockchain, but first we will use Ethereum.
And so just you know, describe like your perfect investor, okay, your perfect ICO investor. You know, what are you looking? Is there a specific type of people that you're looking for? Because I suppose here it's a little bit the people that you're looking to buy some of these tokens and shouldn't be just these kind of people that are looking for like a quick killing, so to speak. You know, they need to be people who are somewhat dedicated to the health improvement of health industry, and also have sort of like a multiple vested interest, not just the monetary kind of gain, but also like various other ways in which they can make this actually work in terms of promoting the idea and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, so we talk a lot with our community through Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, our online chat on our website, and we found out that the most excited people has some experiences in healthcare. Some of them as IT engineers or engineer in the healthcare. Some of them are medical. Some of them are so physicians. Some of them are physicians. Some of them are working in other related parts of healthcare. So we are targeting people in the healthcare who believes that something broken and it can be better with our system. And the other one is if somebody not that interested in healthcare, but believes in our vision and our values are very similar, then these are the people we are looking for. Because we think that the biggest benefit for us, for this ICO, that we can have a community who have an interest in giving us feedback, helping us along the way, and actually it gives a lot of energy to us, giving this kind of positive feedback every day, every channel. So I'm sure this whole ICO thing, because okay, sometimes mainstream media writes bad about the Bitcoin and the ICO and that these people who want to buy their Lambos, but it's way much more, because in just 2 or 3 years ago, for the startups, the only way to raise money was to go to VCs, and only 1, 2, or 3 VC guys put their money, and they don't want to hear a lot about the startups, just maybe have a quick Skype. And even if they call themselves smart money who help with their advice, it's just 2 or 3 people. But if you have a community build with 2 or 3,000 people, even if they are not experts in company building, but they are experts in so many fields, they are experts in healthcare, in community building, in user experience journeys and other part, and I think we think it's more important.
So one more question I have before we start wrapping up. I've done some work with Bupa Health Insurance, both Bupa Group and Bupa UK, and so I wanted to know how are you going to work with health insurers, because some of them provide this kind of lookup. I actually personally worked on a service called Bupa Finder, which enables for Bupa specialists for people to find the specialists there. But that's just for Bupa registered specialists, and it's kind of like a subset of what you're going to be covering. So I just wonder, how are you going to be working with health insurers, and is there some sort of synergy there and so on?
Actually, during the last 1 month, we started to go to conferences, to blockchain conferences, and meet with other people and meet with our ICOs. And it is pretty interesting that the biggest interest comes from the insurance ICOs, and because they see the synergy already. Actually, this old economic, they are still pretty new companies, but the old economic companies will be a little bit later. But first, we are focusing on health, on insurance ICOs, or insurance related ICOs, because we think that our thinking, our mentality, and our vision is a little bit more aligned. So this will be the first time, and in the long term, of course, we would like to work with insurance companies as well. And there are a lot of pretty innovative and visionary insurance companies. So I think that will be our first partners, and later we are planning to go further.
Okay, and so to wrap up, I like to get people to sort of give just a bunch of bullet points of what is it that you need the most right now for Etheal, to kind of complete itself as quickly and as meaningfully as possible. What, like, if you could have anything right now, what is it that you need the most, so that that can go into the ether?
Okay, we need people who would give us feedback, who would help us to develop to other countries, who has any kind of network that with clinics, with hospitals, also with pharmaceutical companies, and who could. So I guess this is the biggest thing. Actually, our pre-sale is going well. We have already raised $300,000. So we are pretty okay with the financial part. We have 2 days left from the pre-sale, but from next Monday, we will have a lot of to do on our list to make partnerships, to develop the Monero application, as I said, to start to develop to other countries, and also to start a conversation with healthcare partners like clinics and pharmaceutical companies and hospitals.
Awesome. I think this all sounds really, really exciting, and it's at the core of what's really needed in a much more globalized world, where many people travel around and sort of living in multiple countries, and this sort of notion of health tourism isn't even sometimes. I have some friends who are living in Berlin at the moment, for example. They'll be there for 6 months. Inevitably, they'll need some sort of treatment here and there, and whether they like it or not, it's a health tourism kind of thing that they'll be taking part in. And I've just wondered as well myself as to if I was to move to another country, work there 6, 9 months, 12 months, it's kind of a scary thought that I will be living somewhere where I don't really understand how to get treated if, God forbid, something happens to me. And this feels like this, might be solving our core kind of fear and concern, and actually making the world much more of a healthy place.
Yeah, we hope so, yes.
Cool. Thank you so much for joining and participating in this. And thank you for answering all these questions that I've just chucked at you ad hoc. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Bye.
All the best. Bye-bye. Bye.